Yields. I now recognize Mr. Carter, the gentleman from Louisiana, and the ranking member on the Subcommittee of Counterterrorism, Law Enforcement, and Intelligence for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ranking Member Thompson. Thank you, Secretary Mayorkas, for joining us today as we review our fiscal year, our FY25 budget request. President Biden's fiscal year 2025 budget request for DHS reflects Democrats' commitment to put politics aside and work in good faith to address security challenges facing our nation. Today's review is important so we can continue to find solutions, not politics, solutions that we as Americans should want. We often have different approaches, but what we see here in the impeachment is nothing more than a witch hunt and an opportunity to cloud the issue, as evidenced by the fact that the Senate has a measure that would bring us to a measure of success to move the ball forward. But my colleagues in the House, because of a directive by the former president, quote unquote, to not give President Biden a victory. Our jobs are not to give presidents victories. Our jobs are to give the American people victories. Our jobs are to fight to make sure that we have a secure border. Our jobs are here to make sure that we see things through a lens, not as Republicans or Democrats, but as Americans, and to do what's right. Unfortunately, that has not and is not happening. I will go on record as predicting that the United States Senate will not even take up these articles of impeachment. Why? Because they're meritless, because they're baseless, and because they're purely political in nature and are not rooted in the fairness, justice, or the American way. So I'm going to pivot a little bit, if we might, because we've talked about this quite a bit. So I'm going to pivot to flood insurance. Mr. Secretary, last time you were here before this committee, I relayed my concerns about FEMA's risk rating 2.0. and that it will leave many in my district, especially in low and moderate income communities, priced out of their homes by premium increases. You stated that you are reviewing and need to continue to review Risk Rating 2.0, given the concerns that have been expressed. Since then, I've only seen flood insurance prices get worse. Given the urgency of the situation and the impact on vulnerable communities, can you provide the committee with an update on how the department is taking steps to help communities that are struggling with FEMA's Risk Rating 2.0?
Congressman, I will follow up with you and provide you an update on Flood Insurance 2.0. I can assure you that we are taking extraordinary measures through FEMA to reach otherwise disenfranchised populations. We have issued guidance and changed our policies to make sure that minority and underserved communities have greater access to our grant programs, to individual assistance, and to other resources that FEMA provides in the wake of natural disasters, and to strengthen and protect communities. I will provide you with an update with respect to Flood Insurance 2.0 specifically.
And one of the things that we have repeatedly asked for, both in this committee as well as in transportation infrastructure, for which I also serve, and in individual meetings in my office and in the office of the FEMA administrator, is the formula. What algorithm, what formula is used to derive these rates? We have consistently said that it's some algorithm, but we have yet to be shared what that is. What does it look like? How do we explain to the people in our districts how these rates are developed when we get a vague answer to that? Mr. Secretary, I would greatly appreciate if you can drill down and share with the American people what this formula is, how it's derived, and more importantly, how we can adjust it to make sure that people are not being forced to make a decision about being able to live in the home that they've now paid for and they can no longer afford to insure because the rates are higher than the note was when they had a mortgage. This is untenable. And I'd ask that you would look into that and share some meaningful answers, sir. And
I will do so, Congressman.
thank you. My time is up.
The gentleman yields. I now recognize Mr. Guest.